From leaving behind his Italian basketball career at 26 to becoming one of the most promising players in Utah, all in just 1 year, today I'm going to tell you about the hidden gem that is Simone Fontecchio. And what's a better way to start than where it all began? It was December 7th at Salt Lake City's Vivint Arena. With 6.9 seconds remaining, the Utah Jazz are 1 point behind the Golden State Warriors, the defending NBA champions. Nickeil Alexander-Walker crowds Jordan Poole and steals the ball during the inbound pass. With 1.4 seconds left, it trickles to Malik Beasley, who picks it up off the floor, sprints, and finds a streaking Simone Fontecchio to complete a layup. The crowd erupts in cheers. When the Warriors give away the ball and the Jazz win, announcer Craig Bolerjack yells this name in joy: Fontecchio. You see, he began his tough road to the NBA in Pescara, Italy, where the game was in his blood. His mother, grandfather, and older brother were all talented young athletes who represented Italy at the international level. At the age of 14, Fontecchio moved to Bologna in order to play for the club team Virtus Bologna. Then, at age 17, he was given the chance to accept a professional contract after climbing through the program's younger tiers. Fontecchio acknowledged that being an NBA player was always a fantasy. After all, there have only ever been 10 Italian players in the league before him. Fontecchio kept his head low and let his performance speak for itself. He earned the title of Lega Basket's Best Player Under 22 in the 2014-15 season, previously held by Italian NBA stars like Andrea Bignani and Danilo Gallinari. His efforts were paying off, and he was given a chance that few people in his country are: a chance to play in the NBA. Fontecchio participated in a Boston Celtics pre-draft workout in 2015 after announcing his entry into the NBA draft. He spoke with Danny Ainge, general manager of the Celtics, who expressed interest in him, but then Fontecchio's agent removed his name from the draft a few days after the tryout. The reason? Well, they thought he might not have been ready for the NBA yet. And it's fair. Being only 19 years old and 4,000 miles from home, he had little knowledge of the draft process. He suffered for a few seasons after moving back to Italy, which led to a transfer to the German team, Alba Berlin. There he regained his game, and just in time for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, everything started to fall into place. Yep, he was prepared for the biggest platform in the world, and boy, Fontecchio went off. With the weight of Italy on his shoulders and the strain of the entire world watching, his 19.3 points per game average across 4 games ranked 7th among all players in the competition. He fired an incredible 52.7% from the field and 45.5% from beyond the arc, to lead the Italians to their best Olympic performance since 2004 and a 5th-place finish. Analysts were questioning why this 6'7" player who shoots the ball brilliantly from beyond the arc wasn't in the NBA. Fontecchio carried the Olympic energy into his next season at Baskonia, but he had no idea that a familiar face was watching him closely. Danny Ainge wanted Fontecchio once more 7 years after initially seeing the 19-year-old talent. The contract appeared doubtful during back-and-forth discussions between the Jazz and Fontecchio in the summer of 2022. Once again, he came so close to reaching the top of the sport. But it seemed like he would fall short, and when all hope seemed to be lost, Fontecchio awoke on July 15, 2022, to an offer. The Jazz and Fontecchio agreed to a 2-year, $6.25 million contract last summer, 1 month before the Eurobasket 2022. But believe it or not, it didn't come easy. Hey, that's not to say our guy didn't deliver. Simone had very little time to get used to the league's playing style after only a few preseason games and workouts. After 10 years of playing professionally in Europe, he was aware of the differences in the game's regulations, duration, allocation of timeouts, and scoring methods. But to excel despite those differences is a whole other ballgame. Still, in the Jazz's 4th game of the season against the Houston Rockets, he made the most of his first significant NBA playing time by scoring 13 points on 3 three-pointers. Since the trade deadline, he's been playing more and performing well. He's scored 10.7 points on average and shot 37.3% from outside the arc in his last 14 games. In fact, he scored a career-high 26 points against the Milwaukee Bucks along the road. Now, Fontecchio's contract with the Jazz extends through the upcoming season, and his no-nonsense attitude and dedication to taking each day as it comes may help him have a successful NBA career, don't you think? But man's gotta have some weaknesses, right? Let's look at what the analysts have been saying about him. His game-winning shot against the Golden State Warriors has so far been his most cherished NBA memory. The analysts' theory regarding Simone is that because his shot is going wide lately, he's been obsessing over it and making mistakes everywhere on the floor. And when he makes those minor careless errors, it really makes him believe he needs to hit a shot to break out of a slump. But when the shot is under pressure, he ends up missing it. The guy needs to stop being in his head so much. You see, there's too much evidence that he's a rather good player in Europe for anyone to say something bad about him. Before entering the NBA, he could shoot at least 40%. But since then, his three-point shooting has dropped to just 28.7%. Still, analysts don't seem concerned about the shots, and it appears that no one else is either. So maybe we're worrying too much. Jazz head coach Will Hardy said, "I watch him shoot every day. I see him put in the work, and I've seen him make a lot." But because he was in and out of the rotation this year and didn't get a lot of opportunities, I believe there's been some variation. Fair, no? Plus, he wasn't down for long because he led Jazz to victory against Magic on March 9th, and after the recent game, he earned the most compliments from Jazz head coach Hardy. Hardy remarked after the game, "Tech obviously had one of his greatest performances for us with 17 off the bench. Yep, they call him Tech. Isn't that adorable?" It was wonderful to witness him gaining some rhythm and self-assurance. Fontecchio, in my opinion, only required a few regular minutes and one successful night to break out of his slump. Analysts are right to believe he has a strong potential of developing into a valuable role player. And I'm happy that the Jazz has him under contract for the upcoming season. Needless to say, the guy has big hopes and a bright future ahead with a talent like that, and he knows it. The swingman who stands at 6'7" isn't the right fit to handle the ball up top. Instead, he's a spot picker who shoots off the catch and off movement from beyond the three-point line, as well as from the traditional mid-range spots. His shot list consists primarily of catch and shoots from the wings and corners outside the line, along with a ton of turnarounds from about 18 feet, and everything happens extremely consistently and smoothly. What more could you want? Fontecchio can always get jumpers away because of his height and rather fast high release, which means the jump rise up strategy is always available to save sticky offenses. A true hidden gem, don't you think? Well, that's all for the rise of Simone Fontecchio.